at 5 o'clock and it's snowy cold outside. But we're here because it's good to be here. All right, let's hope that things work together for our good today, because we had the power go out a little while ago. And I thought, oh, great, today. I guess there's never a good time for the power to go out. We depend on the power, right? Right here in town where I live, they're doing a lot of, they're putting a sewer system in. We have been on septic tanks forever, and they're putting a sewer system in, and they say it's going to take 3 years. 3 years to get it all laid down. So we got 3 years of piles of mud and road closures and divots in the road, and our cars will be eternally dirty. We'll have dust in our houses, but we're going to have sewer, right? Well, I don't know if one of those trucks working out there hit something, but the power was out for 5 minutes. I thought it was an eternity. I thought, oh, I'm working. Now what? And I thought if it comes around 5 o'clock, I won't be able to broadcast. But it came back on. It's amazing, because I know those guys work really hard, but it's amazing how they have a glitch in the power and instantly everything is rerouted somewhere else and they get it back on. Not very often do we have a power outage. I mean, we have had like a couple of hours at a time, but never very long. And so my hat's off to them, I'll tell you. All right, yes, we are here. If you will tell me that you are here. Oh, hi, Debbie, you're already here. Oh, wow, there's quite a few of you here. Mindy, she is very cold and rainy and whispering pines. I think that's what we've got. Did they say, how many more days? 58 more days until spring? I can't remember. Marilyn is here from Indiana. Hi, Tana. Tana is a world traveler. She's never around. Glad you're here today. And Deanna is from Salt Lake area. And Debbie and Melinda and Annette is from here in the valley. And Pat, how are you? Pat, I sent your package out. I hope you get it very soon. If you haven't got it already, maybe tomorrow or the next day. Isla is here. And Deborah from Woodbury, Minnesota. Good. And Jacqueline from Georgia. Nancy from Pittsburgh. Deborah, well, I thought that was really good. You don't know why that popped up? Well, it tells me where you are and what you're doing. That's great. And Lynn, whoops, stop that. There I go again. Lynn is from, oh, there it goes, California. And Melissa Eggleton is from Louisiana. I am so glad you're here. Got lots to talk about today. If you are watching, if you wouldn't mind just saying boo. Well, I've said that before. It doesn't even matter what you say. Otherwise, I can't tell that you're here. It will just say, somebody's watching. Well, how's that? Somebody's watching. Okay, well, I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad you're here. But if you will say something, then it tells me your name. Otherwise, I don't know. Okay, I am working with some, and I think I told you this last week, with some new equipment, which I'm really excited about. But even we have been moving it around, thanks to Tay, my son. He's a genius. And working on more angles and what we're doing with our camera shots. So I am hoping that I'm still learning, right? So I'm hoping that everything goes smoothly. I'm planning on smooth sailing. Hey, Mickey and Rick from sunny Arizona. Well, you're sunny, but Mindy is not. Mindy's got rain and cold. And Joan from South Carolina. Well, I tell you, I looked at the forecast a couple of days ago. No precipitation in the forecast at all for a week. Nothing. And yet I woke up this morning and all of a sudden we have snow. On my app, it says it's going to snow all day, and it pretty much has flurried all day long. It's been a little crazy. Not a lot of accumulation. It's just kind of been flurrying down, but it still means that it's cold enough to snow. But you know what? That's okay. If we don't get any colder, I'm happy. When we were down in the single digits and below zero, oh, that is bitter cold. Bitter cold. And my gas bill for my heat, way up high. So I've told everybody, I said, we're turning the heat down. You're going to have to wear a coat. Hey, Erlafie, I'm glad you're here. I was trying to mix my words and save a little time. All right, I was panicking a minute ago because some of the parts that I needed for my demo today, all of a sudden were not here. It's not that they weren't here, but I thought, oh, where'd they go? I lost something this morning, and I searched and searched, and I'd put it in a good place. I did find it, but it took me a while. Oh, Annette, she said she choked on her gas bill. Well, I have really threatened everybody in my house. I said, you're going to have to wear a coat. Bundle up, because we are not turning that heat on. I hope you don't choke at this, but I'm going to tell you what my heat bill was last month. This is for 1 month. It was $500 for 1 month of heat. That's not my electricity. My electricity was about $150, but $500. I said, we're not doing that again. We are going to freeze. So I'm going to have icicles. Maybe next week I'll wear a stocking cap. Maybe that'd be a good idea. All right. Yep, and that was a big ouch. All right. Hi, Evelyn. I am so glad you're all here. I have some fun things I want to talk about today and some fun things I want to show you. First of all, let's get business out of the way. Next Tuesday, which is the 30th, we are going to be doing my row house. Remember this right here. If you've been watching them, there's already been 6 of them go through. And they're all been different. I think that has been so fun. Nobody has talked with each other about what are you going to do? What shall I do? We all just ran with what we wanted. And mine, I've showed you bits and pieces of it. I'm not going to show it all to you till next week. This is what I'm doing. And this is just my block. I'm not going to show you what I've done to it. Oh, Evelyn says she already got the pattern downloaded. That is great. But next Tuesday, the big reveal, and you'll get to see what I do with my block. I'm really excited. And it's something that I'm going to like. So this, like Evelyn probably said, hi, Alice, I'm glad you're here. This is a free pattern on Wyndham Fabrics. And if you go in there and if you search just row house tote, it's going to be there. But I can put the link up if you don't have it yet, because this really is pretty cool. Now, they have made a tote. You don't have to make a tote. All we're doing is taking these houses and we've made something else with it. You've watched several ladies do IQ Designer. Linda put embellishments on hers, which I thought were really cute because they were done with the decorative stitches on your machine, which I thought is a great idea. And then we've had IQ Designer, we've had palette, we've had all sorts of things, which I think is exciting. It's really, really been fun. So I hope you've learned some things, because I have. You forget what you don't use all the time, you forget it. All right, that's that part. Hi, Sally. Yes, I'm doing a sew-along. My sew-along, Evelyn, is going to be next Tuesday at 10 a.m. So it will take the place of Project on the 10s. So I've reduced down what I'm going to do, because like I said, I already have my blocks created. And I have them, so we're not going to go over how to create the blocks. I think enough of the ladies have done that you don't need to see that again. So this is my block, and I'll show you what I do with the rest of this. So I add some things to it, and might there be a zipper? There might. There just might be a zipper. Why not? Why not have a zipper? So mine is going to be next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So wherever you are, it might be early, might be later. Make sure you tune in. Evelyn, you forgot your time zone. I am Mountain Standard Time. So like right now, it's 10 after 5. So wherever you are, kind of compare that to what you've got going on. So it's 10 after 5 right here today, right now. And it's snowing and it's getting dark. I will be so glad when the sun does not go down at 5 o'clock anymore. And I know the days are getting longer. I love longer days. I like to have that sunshine. In fact, I got up this morning and I was feeling kind of gloomy, and I'm thinking, oh dear, I had a lot to do, but I just thought, oh, I don't want to do anything. And then I've realized is that January gloominess. That's all it is. And when the sun comes out, it's going to feel a lot better. Okay, Evelyn, you're in California. You're 413. So next Tuesday is going to be 9 o'clock for you instead of 10. Well, you can wear your pajamas. You don't have to get dressed. I have to get dressed, okay? All right. All right. Okay, one other thing I think that I want to talk about is this little guy right here. I showed you that I'm already cutting my fabrics out for the class, and I'm so excited. It is going to be so fun. I love my new colors. I really like this fabric, but when I pulled out the new fabric for the new bag that I'm going to make during class, it is so cute. Big flowers and purple and orange. It's really cute. Really, really cute. If you want to sign up for this, it's not too late. The class is not going to be until February 13th. And the prep class here on Facebook in this very same place will be February 6th. So you haven't missed it. You haven't missed it at all. It's going to be a live class. And it's a bag class. You will finish that class. You will know every single step and how to do it, which is phenomenal, right? How often do you open a pattern and think, oh, I'm not really sure what they're talking about? And the nice thing about it is that it is recorded and you will receive the recording that very day. So if you start sewing with me and you kind of just, for me, when I'm taking a class, I have to watch what you're doing. And then if I do it at the same time, then I lose track of where you are and I get behind and whatever. So it's not bad if you just watch and ask questions and take notes. And then when you get the recording, you can sew that part, stop the video, sew the next part, stop the video, so that you're never behind and you have full explanation of what you're doing now. Okay? Does that make any sense? I know there's, yeah, that could be next Tuesday, Tana. We could have a PJ sew along, except I have to be dressed. Oh, and yet when you live alone, those dark evenings, they get really long, don't they? I'm sorry, they do. You're going to get all yours prepped, Evelyn. I've been prepping all day. I've been prepping my kit all day. And I'll explain to you that because there's two sides of the bag, I'll actually have one side done. Otherwise, we would be there for 10 hours. And I will sew the other side with you if you want to watch and follow along. And then we'll just put them together. And the very last part, of course, we'll do all together at once. I won't have any of that pre-done because you can't do the end if you have the rest in the beginning that's not finished. Okay, Tana says, I always watched, I learned my lesson by following along. Too stressful and fabric that ends up in the trash. That's kind of how I feel. I know. I think it's really hard to sew at the same time when you're trying to watch something. If you're in a classroom setting, like in person, and you've got everybody around you that's sewing the same thing, and you got a teacher that's walking around and helping, that's different. Yes, that is a time to sew along. And even though it's a Zoom, so you can watch live, and we call like the one on Tuesday a sew along, you're not actually sewing with me. Because I think if I were trying to do that, I've tried to take classes, I can't do that. I have to watch you, what you're doing, and then I'm going to copy what you're doing. And that's kind of what we have planned here. Tana says, or Evelyn says, Tana, I do the same thing, but I will try. I'm so glad. Annette, I always do too. She said she always gets behind when I try to sew long and make mistakes, so it's good to just watch. I'm hoping that I won't bore you through that whole class. I'm hoping that you will find some things that are interesting and you think, oh yeah, I can do that. I understand. But once you see how it's put together, you do understand, but you kind of got to watch. So you'll get the video that very day, and then you can start and stop and start and stop and sew that part, and you'll already have it in your head so you know what you're doing. Okay? All right. Perfect. Oh, I have to tell you what happened to me yesterday before I jump into the stuff. Yesterday, I went somewhere with my son and his wife, and we got to the place, and I thought, it doesn't smell good. What is that smell? And we were there for a short time, a bit of time. The whole time I was thinking, oh, it stinks in here. And then we got in the car to leave, and we got out in the car, and I thought, oh, I breathed so long in that building that it stinks in my car. Have you ever been that way? You think, oh, now it's in my lungs. Now what am I going to do? And it smelled all the way home. We had the heater on trying to get us warm because it's cold. And it wasn't till the next day that I find that I had probably stepped in dog poop. I had some poop on my shoe. I was the one that stunk, and no wonder the smell followed me. I had to go scrub my shoes. I was so mad. Has that ever happened to you? Oh, Tana, classes with you are never boring. Well, I'll try to clean my shoes off and not have poop on them. Yep, Alice, that is a great way to learn with repetition. I do like repetition. And Debbie says, I watch and write notes all over the pattern. That's exactly what I would do. Because even though the pattern has an interpretation for you, there's pictures, there's description, there's instructions, you may see it a little differently, and maybe something will make a little more sense if you make a note to it. That is how you should do it. Oh, hi, Sheila. How do I sign up for the class? Okay. Are you talking about this class right here? Or are you talking about this class? This class is next Tuesday. There's no sign up for it. If you're here, then you'll be able to find it because it's going to be right here on this Facebook group. Okay? Just show up at 10 o'clock Mountain Time and you're here. There is a catch. And if you noticed last time, and Pat, you will know that I'm good for my word here, because the last project on the 10s was last Friday. And if you were watching live, I drew names out of the people watching live. That means I want you to watch later too. If you can't be here for live, I know that because we do work, right? If you can't be here for the live, then I'm sorry. And we'll do something for you guys later too, okay? But for this one, if you watch live, you have to make a comment. So I know you're here. You make a comment. In fact, I just had a light bulb turn on. If you're watching live, I want you to put live, write live in your comments, say live. That way I know you're here. If you're watching later, write later. All right, and then I will know you watched later. And I will pick a prize. I didn't know I was going to do this until just now. It just kind of popped in my head. So everybody that watches live will get a prize. Everybody that watches later will get a prize. No, not everybody. I will draw a name from the people that watch live, and you'll get a prize. From the people that watch later will also get a prize. Okay? Does that make it? That seems more fair to me because I know that you can't all watch live, but I want you to come, and I want you to watch it whenever it is. Yep, you're going to be watching live. So the prize isn't today, but I'm glad you're here. The prize isn't today. The prize will be on next Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. So then you got to come in and say live. And from all the lives, I will choose a prize. From all the laters, I will choose a prize. Okay, and I will draw the names. So the laters, let's say, okay, that's going to be on Tuesday. So on Wednesday morning, I will draw the names for the lives and the laters. So I'll come on about 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning. That's the 31st, and I will draw names, okay? And I'll also post your name so that you'll know that you won if you won. All right, does that sound fair? Does that sound better? I hate to leave out people that cannot be here. Hey, that's okay, Peggy. You pop in, okay? You pop in if you can. And Tana has put up a link for the classes, I'm assuming. Oh, Annette, you are funny, but watch it anytime you want. I love it. Hi, Rebecca has just joined us, but you gotta say something. Catch me up on what class is Tuesday. All right, I am glad you're here. And Peggy says it sounds fabulous. I love that. This is my interpretation of this block on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. That you don't have to sign up for it, you just have to show up if you come and you watch it live. And I know that Kelly last week could not really, when we did our project on the 10s on Friday last week, she was at work, and so she just popped in quick and said, I'm here. And I don't think because she was at work she could watch the whole thing. That's okay. Pop in if you can, no matter what you're doing. I know some people were driving. Pop in and say, live, I'm here. All right, because there's going to be a prize. I like prizes. And I will sew with you on Tuesday morning. I will show you how I finish this block. And yes, there is a zipper involved. Who likes zippers? I love zippers. I love zippers. Love them. Okay, and if you watch later, just plug in and say later. That way I can put you in the right bin for the prize. Okay? Deal? All right, what else did I need to say about that? Oh, I have some good news about the website. Okay, Tina already, oh, thank you, Robin. I just pulled this out of the back of my closet because it's more of a summer shirt, but I wanted to feel springy because it's so gloomy outside. Patty, these houses are really cute. Evelyn, you love zippers? Okay, you're going to like what we do next Tuesday. Well, Pat, your prize, she says, I was so excited Friday. Your prize is on the way. It's in the mail. All right, so on the website, I did want to make you aware of this because we have a new thing. We've been working on some things that I've wanted to do for a while. There's now a search bar. So if you go up in the search bar and if you want to find bags, like if you want to find this bag, you just search bags and it will bring both all of the bags up. If you want to just look for doodle applique, it'll bring all the doodle applique up. So anywhere that word is said in the description, it will bring it up. So that's going to make it a little bit easier. Maybe you want to find the Celebrate class. Then just type up Celebrate. It'll bring up the Celebrate class. It'll make it easier to find things. At least it is for me. And there's another new thing coming on. We have made it so you can create an account on the website. And that's going to be beneficial. So if you buy a class, and it goes from today forward, I don't think it's retroactive. So from today forward, if you purchase a class or a pattern or anything on there, then it will stay in your account. So you'll be able to go in and see, you'll be able to log in and say, oh, there's that class, I can pull that one out. It's still being tested, but that's what they tell me it's going to do. So I'm hoping that's what it does. All right, any other questions? Joan says the different take on the houses has been so interesting. Now, I'll tell you that I'm not going to do embroidery on mine, although you could with what I'm going to show you, and I'll explain it on Tuesday. But so many have done IQ Designer and Palette and things. I wanted to give you a different take because not everybody has an embroidery machine, right? And I want to be able to have everybody participate. So that's going to be my take. My take is going to be on the sewing side. And I do a lot on the sewing side anyway. I probably sew more than I embroider, although I'm going to be embroidering in the morning. I love to embroider, but I know that not everybody has an embroidery machine. And you know, you don't have to be in the club, right? All you have to do is come. Alice says that she's going to try and watch and sew and then then give up and just watch and then rewatch later. That's kind of what I do. When I try, I think someone else mentioned this already, that when I try do the same thing happens to me. If I try to sew it while I'm trying to watch a little monitor, I can't do it. It's not possible. In the project on the 10s, if those were a sew along, which I don't give you the pattern until after, if they were a sew along, you could definitely sew along with me because they are 10-minute projects. So even if we had a 1-hour project, I would expect that you could sew along with me. But when we do a 10-hour project, you can't. It's just not going to work. And I hope that you understand that that's kind of the way it goes. I don't want you to feel like I'm cheating you or anything. You're still going to go through everything with me. You're going to understand, you're going to do it all. You're just not going to maybe do it at the exact same time live. So take notes. Hi, Valerie. I am glad you're here. So Valerie, you might have missed, because I know that you just came on, that Tuesday when we do a project on the 10s, we're going to be doing the row houses. And it's going to be 10 o'clock like always, so it won't be quite so late for you. Right now, Valerie is ready to go to bed because it is very late where she lives. She's in the UK. But we're going to be doing this on Monday at 10 o'clock. So if you watch live, there's going to be a drawing. If you watch it later, there's going to be a drawing. So you're going to put in live or later. It's the way it is. Oh, thank you, Tana. I hope it was easy. I haven't done it. I should try it. All right, are you ready to go on? Are you ready to go on with life? Okay. I'm going to cover a couple of things today. I think we've got time to do that. I want to talk about this. So many people have said that they don't quite understand how, let me make that a little bit darker. All right, it was just too light, kind of washing everything out. They don't understand about the digital dual feed foot as compared to a walking foot or compared to the J foot. Well, if you're sewing with your J foot, everything's fine and good, and you love it, and that's what I use most of the time is my J foot. If I've got something that is a little heavier, and let me show you what I did over here. This is some fusible, or this is some fleece, just some regular fleece. I get used to saying fusible fleece all the time. But you can see how my fabric bunched up right here. They did not end at the same place. And that was frustrating for me because I've got too much fabric there. And right there, there's a little overlap there. And it just, you see how it just didn't feed very well? It feels like it wants to curl. Well, this is what I did with my J foot. I think minky and fleece are a little harder to sew on, especially if you're going to use a J foot. I love my J foot. I use it for everything, but maybe not for minky. Now, here's the difference between these two feet right here. This is a walking foot, and this will fit up on the bar above your needle. And so every time this goes, let me move it like this. Every time it goes up and down, you'll see that those feet go up and down, this one right here on top. And that's what feeds your fabric through. It helps that go through as the needle goes up and down and the feed dogs move back and forth. That's what helps it go through. And this is great sometimes. There are some people that never take this foot off their machine. They've always got it on. And that's okay. It's not how I sew. And then we have the digital dual feed foot. And this is particular to the baby locks. It plugs in the back. So if you have a Unity, a Destiny, a Crescendo, an Altair, then you've got a Solaris. You've got this foot that plugs in the back. The reason it plugs in the back is that you can make adjustments on it. This tells the machine you have it on. When you've got this foot on or this foot, no matter what foot just clips on, the machine has no idea what foot you've got. So if you are using these, you've got to be careful what you sew. Almost, not with these particular, but if you're using a single stitch foot, like a straight stitch foot, and it's got one hole down here, your machine doesn't know you have it on. If you do a zigzag, pop, you broke a needle. So don't do that. So these right here, they have no idea. Your machine has no idea. This one, it does know. There are actually a place in your settings where you can change what this foot is going to do, how much pressure it puts down. So right now, I've got the markings right here. I really love that. If you can kind of see that I've got their red markings, that helps me so I can feed my fabric through properly. And this, you have to take the post off to put this one on. It's going to screw right onto your post. Okay, there. I don't know if you can even see that very well. But that screws right onto your post. So you're going to take your shank off and you're going to screw this right onto your post. It plugs in the back. If you don't have it plugged in, your machine does not know you're using it. Okay? Right here on the side, it's got a lever, and you'll notice the arrow goes up or the arrow goes down. Right there, it's up. So the little ball is above the line. That means my little belt right here is up. It's not going to feed anything through. If you put it down, it means it's going to feed the fabric through. Right here, that means the belt is down. It's belt driven, and it's going to constantly feed your fabric through. The difference with this one is that when it lifts the foot up, or when the needle pulls it up, I'm not quite sure how to make this so you can see it better. When the needle pulls it up and down, it's going to hop along. That's kind of what it does. Where this one is got a belt that will feed your fabric through constantly. So if you're having some kind of an issue with your fabric going through, you may decide, I want to try the other one, and that's okay. But that's the difference in these two and this one. So you can kind of decide how you want to play that game. All right, I'm going to set those aside for a minute because we're done with those. All right, the thing I want to talk to you about today, and this may be something some of you have, it may be something that none of you have, but this is, have you ever used this? This is called the circular attachment. So it's not really a foot, it's an attachment that you're going to use on your machine. And I'm going to show you how it works today. It's really pretty cool. I had a sample that I've used for this a lot, and I couldn't find it a minute ago, so it's one of those things that I've set somewhere safe, I'm sure. But what I did in my sample is that I stitched out a bunch of circles, and then I had like a 14-inch square. I cut it into a circle, I put a zipper in, and I had a purse. I had a pouch. It was really cute. In fact, if some of you have been with me for a long time, we did this very bag, purse, pouch, however you want to call it, in a class. And it was an in-person class, but it's been at least 8 years. So this is not a new attachment, but it is a fun one. In fact, if you bought a Symphony, this came with your Symphony. It's the only machine that I think it actually came with. So I actually bought a Symphony, not just to get this, but I have a Symphony. But I bought another one because I wanted to use it on my machines. I love it. This is really a fun attachment. Jacqueline said that she got it when she bought her Crescendo and she have yet to use it. Well, now's the time. All right, I don't know if it's still working for you. It looks like on my device here we've frozen. I hope we're not frozen to you. All right, so I'm going to show you what comes with it right here. No, this is not in the feet kit for the Solaris or the Destiny. It is not. All right, right here, this is, you're going to get a cute little book telling you all how to use it. You will get a grid here so that if you are trying to evenly space or doing something very specific, this grid is going to help you out a lot. All right, and this is what else comes with it. This is the attachment that you saw on the front, and it's in that box. And this little bag right here. Hey, it's hiccuping, Terry. I'm really sorry. I don't know if the guys out there working with the power going out today, if that's going to cause problems. I hope not. Okay, these two things, we're going to use those today, but I'm going to show you what else came with it. So we'll take this off. The rest of this is just packaging. It's just the way it is. I'll set that aside. It will also come with 2 other feet. And you may already have these feet, but that's okay. I guess you can have a couple more. So this is the cording foot, the three-hole cording foot. I love this foot. This is a fun one. I think we'll have to show that one day. And then there's the braiding foot. And I don't know if you knew this. Evelyn wants to know what this is used for. We're going to show you in just a minute what I'm going to use this for. But the braiding foot allows you to put like rickrack or braiding, and there's a screw on it right here that you can make the opening larger or smaller by loosening that screw right there. So that makes it nice so that you can use it for a variety of things. Okay, but I don't want to lose them, so I'm going to put them back. And I actually have both of these feet in my kit, so if I did lose them, it really wouldn't be that critical. But why lose things if you don't have to? Okay, I'm going to go over to my machine, and I'm going to show you how to put this on and what we're going to do with it. All right. So with the way the camera is set up, my hands are going to be totally in the way, so I'm going to do my best to keep them out of the way. Actually, let me go back over here for a minute. I want to show you how this works. So I'm going to put this on the bed of my machine. It's going to screw down. I've got a little screw right here that's going to go right there. There's my screw. Don't lose that. And then this right here, this is my pin. So I'm going to take the little protector off the end, and I have a pin right there. And that is going to go in my fabric, and it's going to go right there in that hole. All right? Evelyn, this will go on any machine, any of the Baby Lock sewing machines. Valerie says she has one for her Husqvarna. Oh, that's cool, and she's used it to quilt. This one is, I think this is specific to the Baby Locks because there's little pegs right here that go down in your machine, and there's little slots on the machine. I'll show you where that goes. All right, so this right here is going to go right there. Whoops, stick it down in there. All right, that is going to attach your fabric, and I'll show you when we get to the machine how we're going to do that. And there is a little button right here that releases that so you can get it on and off. But you have to be careful. This one releases the peg right here. This one lets you lift that, and it allows you to move this up and down the grid. So you can actually space, it's got markings on here, you can space your stitches apart, okay? So that's really important to know. And sometimes I've reached under my fabric to move this, and I've accidentally touched that one, which popped the pin out. Well, you don't want to do that. So let's try to do this so we don't do that. We're going to go over to the machine now. I'm going to put this on and show you how to put the fabric in and how to put this guy on. Just don't lose that screw. All right, so it's going to, there's little holes right here on my machine. And I am going to set them in the right holes. All right, there. And when it gets in the right holes, it just lays right flat down. All right, so there's another little hole right there in my needle plate and in my attachment that I'm going to put this in. And you can tighten that down as far as you want, but I'm just going to kind of screw it on like that. I have my end foot on because, do you remember how the J foot does not allow your fabric to move around? And the reason that is because you can get a perfect 1/4 inch, beautiful straight stitch. At the end foot, you can't get a straight stitch. It's not meant to give you a straight stitch. It's meant to do decorative stitches, and that's what we're going to do today. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center of my fabric. And all I'm going to do that is I'm just going to do it by folding it. And I'm out of camera, so you can't really see. But I'm going to find the center of my fabric. And I am going to put this pin, oh, don't do that, earthquake time. I am going to put this pin in the center of my fabric because I'm going to be sewing in a circle. And I've stabilized my fabric. I have some fusible fleece on it. And I'm going to, and you guys are in my way. I hope you, kind of hard for me to see around that. Okay, I think I've got it in the hole. There, I've got it in the hole. All right, see now that is going to turn right like that. That's what that pin allows it to do. When I first saw this foot, or this attachment, I thought, how can you sew in a circle? That is really just not possible. But you can, because it takes it in a circle for you. But it was really a hard concept for me to understand. So I'm going to come up a little closer. So I have just lifted this one move my fabric in. So you can see why that time that I told you that when I did this, I hit the wrong button and it just threw all the fabric out. Make sure you get the right lever and then you can move it around. So any restrictions on types of thickness of fabric? Not really. Anything you can sew on, just make sure it's stabilized. And I've got fusible fleece on mine. You could use Shape Flex on yours, whatever works the best for you. Ooh, Evelyn, you really had an earthquake yesterday? Oh my heck. I hate earthquakes. I've been in a few and I hate them. Evelyn says, what's the number one I want to make sure I don't have it? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Evelyn. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and now I'm going to stitch some things. I've got some purple thread in here so that you can see it. And I'm going to choose a stitch. In fact, the first stitch I'm going to do is simply going to be the serpentine stitch. And I'm not going to make it longer. I'm just going to go ahead and stitch it. Now, this is how you're going to do it. When you're stitching on this, you're going to kind of stroke your fabric as you go, because you don't want your fabric, oh, I just cut my thread. You don't want your fabric to bunch up. You want it to stay nice and smooth. And it may not want to stay smooth. So here I go. I'm just stroking as I go. I don't have to guide it necessarily. I'm just going to stroke it. And know also that when you go to meet on the other side, depending on what stitch you decide to go on and how wide your circle is, it may not match up exactly perfectly. I haven't tried to use those end stop stickers. I think I should. I will experiment with that. Okay, see how I've just stroked it nicely? But what I did when I did my bag that was a circle, I made sure that that joining part was on the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to cut my thread. And some stitches work a lot better than others. Okay, I'm going to move it out just a little bit. And you want to pick a stitch that is not really heavy. You want to have it, you don't want to have a lot of movement in it or a lot of bunching up on it, because they're not going to look as nice. But if you do some trials, you're going to find out which ones work and which ones don't. I'm going to go into my decorative stitches and I'm going to go into 6-1. We're going to see how that looks. And let's just start stitching. See how it's moving back and forth, so that fabric, you need to kind of keep control of it. You want to keep it out. But just know that it is going to bounce back and forth. And there it goes. Okay, I'm going to try another stitch because we're not going to sit and stitch all day, right? I'm going to go to 7-16. I think this one's a pretty one. And there's movement in this one, so I've got to allow it to do its movement. And you can do circles that are really tight in there, but I would definitely not have a big heavy circle when I was doing some maybe further in than where the serpentine stitch is. Okay, let's pull that off and let's look at it. All right, to take it off, I'm going to push my pin lever, and that's going to release that pin. All right, let's go back over here. All right, so you can see what I've got here. Isn't this fun? All right, what applications would you use this for? This would be decorative, definitely. If you want to sew in a circle, any kind of, you could do a whole quilt with just circles. Okay, you could do, well, they could be square, but you could do decorative circles on it. That would be so pretty. Let me tell you another thing that I have done it for. When I have needed a circle, and you know, I have my circle cutter, I love my circle cutter, but what if I wanted to sew in that circle and have a perfect circle when I was finished? This is the way I would do it. I would put my two fabrics together, and I would sew my circle, and then I would clip the one of the sides, turn it right side out, push all my edges out with my R&K turning tool, press it well, and I have a perfect circle. So if you've seen those quilts that just are made up of a lot of circles, that could be the way you could do it. So there's a lot of different things you can do with this. And notice that you don't have to do a full circle if you just want to do a half and then do another and then another. That would be so pretty. I can think of a lot of things I would like to do with it. All right, the number of the foot. Oh, do you mean the number of the attachment? Let me show you this picture again of the box. If you wanted to order one of these, there's the model right there. It's BL-CSA. And I like the way Baby Lock does this because CSA, that would be circular sewing attachment. Baby Lock - circular sewing attachment. Not all of them are that way, but most of them are. And I think that's pretty cool. All right, any other questions that I can help you with? So who has this foot? You have that foot? I know that some of you said you did. Oh, Evelyn, that's the number. That's the number you were looking for. Okay, you got it. So it is CS or BL-CSA. All right. Any questions on the circular attachment? Because I think we've done it. I've showed you that you've just got to try it. Use it. Think of something. You know, when you realize all the tools you've got and you think, how can I use that tool today? Then you're going to come up with something. I know that I was given the assignment to create a project with a circular attachment, and I did, and it was a bag, and it was so cute. And if I find it, I will definitely bring it back out. I just don't know what I did. I looked. I really did. I couldn't find it. Oh, Norma says this is one of the few that she doesn't have. It is fun. Yes, I can, Evelyn. I can. Right after I finish here, I will definitely post it. And I'm going to put my little pin protector on this so I do not lose it. And I'm going to put it in my bag. And I keep everything right in the box on this one because there's pieces to it that I don't want to lose. And I'm definitely going to put it back in the box. And then when you've got this box on your shelf, it's easy to see it because it's kind of thick. It's there, you know it's there. And I think this is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yep, Mindy, it does look like fun. So maybe you'll think, oh, I could do that. I could use that here or there or whatever. And it is fun. All right, I don't think I have any more questions or comments. I want you to watch on Tuesday, watch it live and say live, or watch it later and say later, because there are prizes. I'm going to draw a name, and it's going to be fun on Tuesday. We're going to be doing our project on the 10s. It might take a little longer than 10 minutes for this project, but it's still there. We don't mind, do we? All right. I think, let me see if there's anything I've missed. Oh, Evelyn, I hope that earthquake didn't, darn, they are scary. It's like the wind. You have no control over it. You just live with it, right? You just live with it. Okay, I think we've got all the questions. I think we're covered. And thank you, Norma. I love your project on the 10s. Thank you so much. I'm always looking for something to do in there. And I also I know that we have this bag coming up in just a couple of weeks, but I'm also working on the next project that we're going to do, the live project. It's going to be a serging project, and it's going to be a bag. Okay? Do you have enough bags? No, we don't have enough bags. And don't we need to show off our skills on all these different things that we make? Yes, we do. All right, and then you can't find them like I was this morning. Okay, I will see you Tuesday. Tuesday is our project on the 10s. That is the 30th. And on the 31st is when I believe Anna Avery Vaughn has hers. So, and that will wrap it up. We'll have all of our row houses done. We've watched 6 so far, and they have been so fun. They have been really fun. So I hope the last 2, you like them too. All right. Thank you, everybody. I will see you on Tuesday. Have a really great weekend. Do something fun. Even if it's cold outside, think of something fun that you can do. Life should be enjoyed, right? So let's enjoy it. And I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.